Hey fans, it's me Aaron for a comic show. It's a lighter week this week, the last week of the month, and there's a few highlights. There's a few things that I liked. I tried some new things like I often do because, you know, I read what I like and I can read it in advance usually, and then I order a lot of the stuff that I think is good, and then I talk about it. I mean, it's just like my life. It's pretty sweet. I don't know. I enjoy it. Zodiac Starforce. It's a #1 by Dark Horse, and this book was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It is in that same type of modern tone, irreverent, quirky type of stuff like Steven Universe or whatnot. It obviously looks like, you know, Sailor Moon. And the guy that writes it, he says it's heavily influenced by Buffy. He even said he was rewatching Buffy while he wrote it, so some of that's in here. And the art's brilliant. Paulina, great, perfect choice for art on here. The coloring's wonderful. And if you want something that is buzzy, something that's fun, fresh, modern, none of that, no negative stereotypes, nothing that Twitter or Tumblr is going to condemn, get this book. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, I'm an old white guy, and I really liked it. So, you know, old white guy seal of approval right there. Yeah. Fight Club 2. You know, speaking of old white guys, I mean, God damn it, I identify with this dude. I mean, seriously, this dude, he's like me, except, you know, I'm just such a big wuss I don't ever get in fights because, you know, I'd get my ass kicked. I mean, these are beach muscles. I don't know if you know that. These are beach muscles. But anyway, the whole thing is going like international now, like international crazy instability fight club. It's just nuts. It's a great heir to the previous movie. And if you were the age I was when the previous movie came out, like, you know, early 20s, late teens, and now you have kids yourself and feel like no matter what you do, it's never enough. You mow the lawn every goddamn week. The bank accounts are good, everything's good, but yet you're empty and dead inside, and no one ever gives you a pat on the back, and, you know, you don't know what your wife wants. She says you're not emotionally available, you're not meeting her emotional needs, and it's like, I'm not meeting my own emotional needs. I'm stunted. I don't know what to do. And that's Fight Club 2. That's what it is. So perhaps I need to get in some fights. Perhaps I need to like really find who I am in a fight, because you don't know who you are until you punch someone in the face and get punched in the face, correct? That's what I need to do. But I just need to stop being such a wuss. And Walking Dead, Volume 24, Life and Death. This is almost current. It brings you all the way up to the issue before the most current one. And this cliffhanger crazy ending, there's so much freaking death at the end of this volume. It's insane. And Kirkman was laughing about how this cliffhanger ending with so much death is going to leave people that are reading in the compendiums that only come out every 5 years. They're going to have 5 years to wait to see what happens next, but you don't. If you were getting the graphic novels, you get this issue 24 and then just go pick up the newest issue right off the shelf now. We have plenty of them. I think it's 146, and enjoy it. Enjoy Walking Dead as it's meant to be enjoyed, which is issue per issue, with each cliffhanger and about 30 days in between where you fret over what that cliffhanger meant, and then you get it and you enjoy it, and it's fun. You know, Walking Dead is great, you know. Fear the Walking Dead. And you know, we're in Orlando, Cigar City Brewing, great brewer in Tampa, and this Good Gourd, it's a pumpkin with a lot of spices, and it's just so freaking good. I love it. This is my favorite of the season, of like any seasonal beer ever, and it's just the best. So, you know, the next few months are gonna be pretty drunk and punkin'. Star Wars Lando, this is my favorite Star Wars book that isn't Darth Vader. And speaking of it not being Darth Vader, Star Wars is heavily Vader, Vader's heavily Vader, this is no Vader. You get zero Vader in here, and what you get in here is the Emperor and the Emperor's Royal Guard. Lando, supposedly, you know, he has to like meet Vader for the first time in Empire, because he obviously has no idea that Vader's gonna screw him. He's like, oh, this deal's just getting worse and worse, you know, so we really can't have him before Empire having a run-in with Vader, so it's the Emperor, and that's insane. And Charles Soule is kicking ass on this book. Maliv's art's great, and I just like that it's a heist book, and it's Lando, the guy we know as the charming con artist, ladies' man, that, you know, it's fun. It's good. And if you like Star Wars and you're not getting Lando, you're doing it wrong. You're just doing it wrong because it's a great book. Moving on with Marvel, Last Days of Ant-Man. It's number one. It's a one-shot. This is the manga cover. And I like this cover because he just looks so like kind of hunched over, kind of like, I'm Ant-Man, this sucks. But as its last days, you can read it as a one-shot, even if you weren't reading the series. It's the same creative team. It's Nick Spencer, and it has our character kind of dealing with how he has no real purpose in life other than, he wants to see his daughter. He wants to do well. He wants to have this company be successful. It's not successful. And then the end of the world's here with Secret Wars. So, that's all great. And there's a big twist with one of the characters, and it was a lot of fun. So if you want an Ant-Man book that's a one-and-done, single-issue story in the same vein and tone as the movie, get that issue. It's awesome. Hank Johnson, agent of Hydra. This is a writer that I don't know if he's written comics before. I haven't seen him write a comic before. Maybe he has. David Mandel. He was actually like one of the producers of Curb Your Enthusiasm. He was one of the writers of Seinfeld in the later seasons. He wrote that Bizarro episode of Seinfeld, which obviously is my favorite episode because I'm a comic book fan. And this book is hilarious. It's really funny. And again, it's the thing where he's married, he has kids, he's not measuring up, he's not making enough money, his wife wants more help at home, but yet, he's a terrorist, working for a terrorist group, low level pretty much, and just barely staying alive, barely making ends meet. And his wife's like, why don't you work for AIM? And he doesn't want to work for the AIM holes, and it's fun. It's a fun, funny book. If you want something comedy, Hail Hydra, that's your book. Give it a shot. And if you want something entirely crazy and nostalgic, it actually says X-Force 92. It's X-Men 92, number 3. If you've been reading this book, it just gets more and more and more batshit crazy. And this issue with X-Force and the introduction of the Deadpool and X-Babies and just all of the zaniness of X-Men when X-Men got really, really self-indulgent in the 90s. I was there. I enjoyed the hell of it. I had the Toy Biz action figures. I had the Terminator figure that for some reason they called him Cable. And I enjoyed it. So if you have that nostalgic bone, seriously get it. Doesn't matter if you're reading any other Secret Wars. It doesn't matter. If you watch that cartoon show, you will like the X-Men 92 comic. And that's all there is to it. If not, then I don't know what you're doing watching this video. So, better just make some better life choices and, spend more time with your kids, spend more time with your wife, meet her emotional needs. Stop watching videos about comics. Stop reading comics every week. I mean, seriously, get in a fight. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.